I've said it many times, I know I would change my ways, I know for sure. When all the crows decide to meet, they settle down beneath my feet. I've got it right and I got it wrong, but I learned my lesson hanging on. Come sit here with me by the fire and let it go for a little while. So be here as the night starts falling. Let my fingers walk over your head. We got nothing to be scared of. I'd rather be with you than by myself. Now all is in your hands. Control will lead me to an ending road, and heavy metal seemed to be the only thing that was for me. And I saw the angels coming down, and they sang a song, they sang it loud, and I still remember parts of it, and the yellow glorious will live. Won't you be my guide and let me follow? Can I hold your hand for old time's sake? And all this time you waited for me. Little did we know, I guess it's fate. Now all is in our hands. All is in our hands. Ooh. All is in our hands.
This is going to be one of those kind of shows, I guess, huh? Yep. So, yeah. So, had some technical difficulties, as many of you know. And I've survived, I think. Boney has been working hard in the server room, making this thing go. Thank God we're on the air. Hoy, Mark Strignell, great to see you. Loretta is here. Yeah, I'm here. And we got a big show today. I got Lori Moen on. Lori is one of my oldest friends. This is another segment in the Interview Friday special subsection. Joel interviews his longtime friends. And so that's what I'm doing today. I'm interviewing Lori Moen, and Lori Moen is also an energy expert and a scientist, although she doesn't like me to call her a scientist. That's what I'm calling her. It's my show. Let's get into this thing. I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 All right, everybody. It's great to see everybody. Great to see John Peckinpah out there, which is fantastic. We're going to take 3 deep breaths because I need it today. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Everybody needs to take deep breaths. Let it go. Lori Moen is in the chat room, and that's what I want to tell you about, because this is a time-delayed version, more than just being late. We recorded this interview last night. It was edited to the teeth, and then Boney couldn't make it work, so it's just a raw interview, and there's going to be some day drinking and some just fun and talking about old times. In through the nose, out through the toes. Let it go. Mark watched the last episode of Lunch Therapy today, the episode where yourself and Kamala were bashing the Brits. Not impressed. We're lovely. I just said don't act with the Brits because they'll steal all the attention because they're so damn good. In through the nose, out through the toes. Let it go. Got a good group here today. I want to start off with a little video that Vernis sent me. It's her brother, Vaughn Clear. It's not really him. He did the video. And it is of two dogs having a very intense conversation. One more breath, in through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. Yeah, you might want to watch that episode. We're much more lazy. All right, so here's Vaughn Clear's dogs having a really intense conversation. I think it's about who gets to sit on the bed. Wow, there's some territorial things. And then it stops before we find out whether he made it or not. I don't know. I don't know whether he made it. Maybe we should take some bets. Jose is here breathing. We're going to have some, because we have a scientist on the show, we're going to have some comedian talking to scientist. But first, Glenda Todd made a hole-in-one. Our hummingbird, Glenda Todd, there in Florida, made a hole-in-one.
Glenda Faye.
There she is, hole-in-one. Congratulations. There's much applause.
Thank you.
Yay, Glenda. So that's Glenda. She allowed me to share this with you. It's a big win. She's only done 2 in her lifetime, and she's a super awesome golfer. They're a bit over the top with it. Still talking about the Brits. I think, so congratulations, Glenda. Now we are going to get on with the show because it's going to be pretty raw, pretty intense. Hopefully Lori will show up in the chat room. The reason we did it last night was because, I don't know, these people who work in energy, they got to be ready to move at any time. And I was like, oh man, I don't know. We should pre-tape the thing. So here we go. It's raw though and uncut. And Howard Aronin is here. Check out Howard. He did 2 episodes. He received his beautiful red Lunch Therapy t-shirt this week. Positive energy. Lori Moen. Let's get into it. Lori Moen on Lunch Therapy Interview Friday. All right, here we are, yeah. Lori Moen, good to see you.
Hello, Joelmarshall.
How are you doing?
Good to see you.
Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I am so lucky to have you here. I have the orange background in
Perfect.
your honor, because I think
Perfect, yes, very good.
Invented orange. Is that right?
I should have invented orange. I probably would have made a lot more money than I'm making now, but
Really?
It's a thing.
Do you think orange gets residuals, the person who invented it?
Probably, like the Post-it guy.
Yeah, it's probably
be.
one of those things like you just don't...
It's
like,
been around for a long time, though. I don't know how they track that down.
Yeah. And you know, it's like happy birthday. Like they just don't think
Before
that
patents even existed.
Yeah. So, but why orange? Why do you like orange?
That's hard to spell. I don't know. Why does anybody like anything for that matter? It's a happy color. It's It's an orange color. No, actually, so when I was a little girl, I probably liked pink and purple, like most kids, right?
Yeah.
Most little girls, they like pink and purple. I remember when my mom crocheted me one of those ponchos. It was pink, purple, and white, and somebody probably owns it because probably went to a thrift store.
Yeah.
But when we were in high school and our high school colors were orange and green, and no one liked orange, and I was a cheerleader, and all the cheerleaders were like, oh, we're not going to wear orange. Orange sucks. I'm like, no, orange doesn't suck. Orange is kind of cool. I really like orange, and it just stuck, and I was always advocating for the orange cheerleading outfits and the orange pom poms, and then when we graduated, the first year in history of Woodway High School.
Uh-huh.
The women were like, oh, we're not wearing orange, we're wearing white, and they petitioned,
I remember that.
And they got to wear white, and I'm like, what the heck, that is just unfair. And I was looking for an orange gown. I figured I could get somebody else's, but I don't know if people just like toss those. I scoured the thrift stores in Linwood looking for an orange, cap and gown to wear, but I couldn't find one.
Yeah, you think you could have gotten your own. They probably get mad at you because you'd be like the only orange one.
Oh, my mom was, I lived my life through guilt that my mom gave me. And she would have been like, no, you can't do that, Lori. I don't want you to stand out. Don't embarrass me.
Yeah.
I just embarrassed her in so many other ways. but she didn't want me to embarrass her at graduation.
Yeah. That was, to this day, if I tell people like that our school colors were orange and green, people are like, oh, really? I liked them at the time. I didn't think that was a bad thing at all, but I guess, it's your school. So
there are other schools that have orange and green. It wasn't just us, was it?
I think we're not the only ones in the whole world, for sure. So Lori is special to me because for many, many reasons. But for one of the reasons is we have known each other forever. We went to the same elementary school. We went to the same middle school, the same junior high school, I guess we called it, and the same high school. And we've known each other forever.
But not the same college.
Not the same college, but that was about it. We even after school, I went to Chicago with Kevin Sherman, and Lori also went there. Not that she was like copying me.
No, I think I went there first.
Oh, you did?
Because actually, I remember I drove out right after college with my dad in my Honda, and I picked up a tumbleweed, and I put it in a box. I sent it to Kevin. And he was still back in Seattle.
I think I remember that. I remember him saying that.
I just thought that was the coolest thing. This is a tumbleweed. This is so cool. Yeah, it was a tumbleweed. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, they need to have like a company that does that. Like Tumbleweeds Are Us, that will send, like a greeting card. Like American greeting cards is American Tumbleweeds. Or
I think you got something.
I think it's a thing.
I think you got something.
It could be.
We moved there. We moved there right after the San Francisco earthquake, I remember, because Kevin's sister was up in San Francisco and we had to wait. And then we got in the car.
I was in Chicago when that happened because my roommate's husband was is that when that? Wait a minute. I have to think about that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So one of the things we do on the show is we try and remember things. But first of all...
Which is bad because I have a horrible memory.
This is like
I'm not going to do well.
It's like therapy, try to remember stuff. But I want to ask you, first of all, so our viewers know, what do you do right now? What is your position in life?
What do I do? I'm a mid-level manager for the government.
Ladies and gentlemen, today on the show, we have we're lucky enough
to be a mid-level manager.
To have a mid-level manager for the government on the show, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's in
32 years. Here's where I land.
Yeah.
Now I work for Seattle City Light, the electric utility in the city of Seattle. We're one of 39 offices within the city government. I've been there for 9 years. This is my fourth utility I've worked for, but I've also spent time on the side of building owners, and I work in energy. So that's my field. And in my current job, I have a team of program designers and managers, and we take customer-facing programs from ideation to exit.
Wow. So when we were in Chicago, you were working at a particle accelerator. Is that right?
Yeah, an intense pulse neutron.
An intense pulse neutron accelerator. I have a picture of you there that I'm going to attempt to find. But tell me what...
IPNS. was what it was called.
Tell me what it is. What is that exactly? Because I don't know, and I don't think some of our viewers will know. Jose Salas will know, but most of us don't know.
Is he related to Carl?
He
Because
is.
I know a Carl Salas.
He is related to Carl. Yes, he is.
Really?
No, I don't know. I'll have to ask
be.
him. Are you, Jose, related to Lori Moen, a friend?
They live in San
Carl?
Luis Obispo, San Jose. There,
Well, you know
that
what?
area.
They could be. They could be related.
Yeah, maybe I actually know the guy. Yeah, what is an intense pulse neutron source? Yeah, so we.
This is a picture of you there.
Oh yeah,
back
look
in
at
the day.
that.
Look at you.
Did you ever go there?
I did.
Were you over there with me?
I went there to visit you there. It was outside of Chicago.
I can't remember if you needed security clearance or not.
I felt like I was
we
like.
wore little dosimeters to measure the radiation when we were there.
There was radiation? You didn't tell me that? No wonder.
I'm sure it was harmless. That's why you see that big piece of lead concrete thing that's standing there.
It felt sort of like a secret, like Area 51 kind of thing to me when I went there.
The whole laboratory did, or just where our
Well,
building was?
I drove out there. It was very or I don't know how I got there. Maybe you drove me. I have no idea how I got there. But it was
I can't remember.
It's sort of like a nondescript kind of location. And I went in there, and then there was this thing called a particle accelerator. You were telling me about it, and I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you couldn't actually see it, right? It was just like you'd see like this big box, and you'd be like, yeah, that's the particle accelerator. And if I remember correctly, we had a proton accelerator that would hit some sort of target. I can't remember what the target was. And from that protons hitting this target, neutrons would come off, and those are neutral particles. Yeah. And then we'd focus them in beams, and we'd shoot them at targets. Yeah. And the piece of equipment you see there is that's those silver boxes are like the detectors. So you'd put the target in the middle there, you'd shoot your neutrons at it, and the particles, the molecular structure of the target would diffract the particles into different directions, and depending upon where they went, you could measure the distance between the structure of the material.
Did you ever ask them, why the hell are we doing this?
Well, no, that came later. Yeah, actually I did. But, I did this for like a year because I had no idea what I was going to do with my life when I graduated from college. And luckily I had a really nice professor who said, hey, Lori, you don't know what you want to do. Why don't you come work with me for a year at Argonne National Laboratories and see if you want to go into high energy physics? I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. That sounds like a great idea. I can make $200 a week doing this, no problem. But towards the end of the year, I had some results, and I got to present my results at these conferences, which is really cool. We had scientists from all over the world. And I was at this one conference, and they had a keynote speaker by the name of Dr. Helen Caldecott, who was at the time very vocal about the use of nuclear power. And she was a medical doctor who'd grown up in Australia and lived in uranium mining towns, and started to connect high incidence of cancer in uranium miners to the actual radiation from the uranium. So she was making the full circle connection from nuclear power and the uranium mining to the impact on the environment. And, that was just like over the course of time, she'd done all this research. And her point was, we don't need nuclear power. We can curb our use of energy through energy conservation, energy efficiency, and renewable energy. And I was like, energy. I work for the Department of Energy. I have a degree in physics. I can do this. This is cool. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'm going to change the world, and I'm going to go do this thing. So I went back to Chicago, and I was telling all the scientists there what I'd learned. And, this really important scientist named Dr. Sherman Sussman, he always wore his white starched shirt and a necktie, and was always very formal. And he would, oh, Lori, what did you learn today? He'd sit back in his chair and kind of rock. And I said, oh, Dr. Sussman, you won't believe what I found out. And I told him the whole story. He's like, well, Lori, don't you know what we're doing here? I said, well, yeah, sure. We're studying the first sharp diffraction peak of vitreous silica at high
course.
temperatures and pressures.
Of course, that's what we're
And he's
doing.
like, well, yeah, that's what we're doing. And he says, well, I do whatever I can to be able to say that, but I didn't say it very well that time.
That was
but,
pretty good. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So that's I try to work that into any interview.
I'm gonna do that too. When I go to auditions, I'm just gonna rattle that off.
Yeah,
I have
it's
to
pretty good,
practice.
isn't it? It
Yeah.
gets people to, it's like quiets the room.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna
he
fuck
said,
with
well,
you after that.
So these glass compounds that we're looking at, that's vitreous silica is essentially glass, because glass is not a solid and it's not a liquid. It's kind of in between when it's in its solid form. And of course, the more heat you put on it, the more liquidy it gets. So he said, well, we're studying these glass compounds so that we can encapsulate nuclear waste and bury it for disposal, for safe disposal. And that's what we're doing here. And I'm like, what? No way. We're supporting this. And I about had a coronary, because I couldn't believe that the work I was doing was intended to support this industry that now I couldn't support because I had to save the world.
Wow.
And so I left Chicago shortly after that, and I came home and moved back in with my parents and went down to the library and looked in the phone book under E for energy, trying to figure out what I was going to do.
Really? You were just like, what am I going to do?
Yeah, literally. And remember, that's the days before computers. So I had the phone book. I'm like, E, energy. Okay.
That's what I did when I moved to Chicago,
write the number
too.
down,
I was like looking through the
phone.
phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's harder. It was harder back then. So then what? You became a tour guide. Right?
Yeah. So
that's the next logical thing.
Well, I didn't find a job in energy by looking in the phone book. I worked for Nordstrom's. I worked for a roofing company. I worked for a physical therapist's office. I did and I worked at Sailor's Restaurant and Bar down in Edmonds for a while.
Did you see all of our old classmates there?
Oh, yeah, you bet. I think I worked there for 4 months until they went bankrupt. But, it was like I was home for a month and my mom goes, Lori, you need a job.
Yeah.
And so I went and I got a job, and that was the first job I got. But towards the, several months passed, and my mom was great. She really helped me out a lot in my career. She said, hey, Lori, that tour guide position I always wanted you to apply for is open again. And now that you're not in school, you should apply for it. Because my school would start in August, so I could never do like these summer jobs because I'd have to go back to school before the job. So I applied for a tour guide position with Seattle City Light, who I now work for, and spent a summer up in the Skagit giving tours of the hydroelectric facility there. Best damn job I've ever had on the.
Was it a dam? Is that a dam, and that's how they make power?
Yeah.
Is that how they make most of the power in Seattle?
Well, there are two hydroelectric projects that Seattle City Light gets most of its power from, and then we have contract purchases, but it's predominantly hydro in the Northwest.
Really? So you were doing that, and then how did you segue into? Did you just move up the ranks or something? How did you get into? How did you become a mid-level manager from that?
Do you remember Mrs. Sleesman?
Yes.
From elementary school.
My favorite.
She was on my tour guide. She was on my tour, one of my
really?
tours. At the end of the summer, I had 3 job offers from my tours, from giving tours. People were like, hey, I want to offer you a job. And I was like, wow. This is really cool. And so at the end of the summer, I had an offer from a company called Olin Rocket Research in Redmond. Uh-huh. I could have been a rocket scientist.
Oh, my God.
They offered me 2 different jobs. And I'm like, oh, man. Jet propulsion. This is really cool. Yeah. And then I got an offer from Snohomish County PUD to process their water heater rebates in their energy efficiency program.
Wow. That is cool. So
rocket scientists, water heater rebates. Guess which way
you were like, I'm going straight for the water heater rebates.
That's
all me.
I know.
I'm all there.
History's written.
A woman of passion.
I know.
So
and I never looked back.
You never look back.
I could have been a rocket scientist.
What do you think about what they're doing with the rockets these days? I mean, like Elon Musk.
Oh, isn't it cool? I love working for Blue Origin. They're just down the street here too.
Oh, really?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it though. I was never a good physicist.
Really?
No.
Yeah, that's what you think. But you know what you were good at? You know what you were good at?
I'm guessing you're going to tell me. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's you.
Face dancing.
Face dancing. You know, this is
Yeah.
one of the earliest known face dancing pictures.
I thought it was you in the garden at Woodway.
It's not even me in the garden. It's somebody else.
Oh.
I don't even know
Imposter.
if we know who it is. It's somebody like a grade below us or something like that who was inspired by our face dancing, and so it made it in the yearbook, and that was where the proof came from. But this picture also of you in college.
Yeah, that would have been 1985. That was the end of the world party. I was God. I came as God. That's why I'm all in white there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you?
I tried to save people, but I don't remember much of that party.
You don't. You remember that picture
But
now.
the picture tells it all.
It's totally, yeah. I think I'm kind of bummed out, and maybe you were too, about your cohorts there, that their form is really not very good.
I know.
Really.
Well, you can only train people so much.
Yeah. There's somebody about to step on one of them too. That's one of the dangers of face dancing. Is for some reason people think, oh, I'm going to step on people. Did you?
I think we were in the middle of the dance floor, actually.
Oh, you were. So then,
I'm pretty sure
they feel
we were.
sort of like obligated to dance on you.
And I'm sure that rug was really pretty nice too.
Yeah, I'm sure that was good to put your face.
To put
on
my
there.
face on.
Oh my God, this is our entire the last reunion we had. Everybody.
I
face
didn't go.
dancing. You missed it. You know what it took to get everybody to face dance like that?
You had to pay them?
Nothing. I didn't have to do a damn thing. I just told them, hey.
They wouldn't have done it. Maybe they wouldn't have done it, 30 years ago. But
Now
now
they're like,
whatever.
Screw it. Yeah, that was super fun. I tried to submit that when I was on To Tell the Truth. This is me on To Tell the Truth, face dancing.
Face dancing, but you're on
I'm on the thing.
the countertop there.
But my form's pretty good. I mean, it's not bad.
yeah,
My toes
for
are kind of
sure.
on the edge there. But the thing is, when I showed them this picture and this picture, they were like, because they were asking me for pictures of people face dancing that they could use on the show. And I was like, well, what about these? And they were like, no.
Well, see, there's beer in that picture, so that's probably why. There.
They were saying that the other picture looked like it was like a massacre, like it was like.
Well, isn't that
Jonestown
aren't
or
those like
something.
arrows?
Yeah. Looks like people got shot by arrows.
They did get shot by arrows.
That's one of the dangers of.
It's at the Nile Country Club, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the Nile Country Club. You know what's funny too is I told Kevin Sherman and Dan Smith to go way off in the distance so that there'd be like some people off in the distance face dancing, and you can't see them at all. And they knew that too. They were like, "Why
They're
are
all
you
in the
doing
picture.
that?"
They're so far off in the distance. You can't
They
see
thought
them
I
at
was
all.
like pranking them or something like that. It's just totally weird. So so that was fun. Would you say when we were in high school, you were kind of you were super creative, I thought. Yeah, you were. No, you
I
were.
don't know
You
about
were.
that.
You were the person. You were in the drama club. What was the drama club like at Washington? I mean,
Did we have a drama club?
Woodway High School. You were in the drama club. I know because
We had
there was a
Film
picture.
of the Month Club.
The what?
We had Film of the Month Club.
Oh, that was the other thing. I never was in that club either. And then
That was Mr. Van de Boe.
apparently he was some kind of film aficionado.
Oh,
Right?
he totally was. Yeah, we watched some really crazy films.
You know, it's funny because
Picnic at Hanging Cliff or Rock or whatever it
Picnic at Hanging
was.
Rock.
I still remember those disturbing films we watched after school.
You know,
Brought the movie projector down or the VCR cart or whatever it was, and he'd go to Scarecrow Video and get a really good one.
what kind of teaching was that? That's pretty fun. I don't know how I missed that.
It was after school.
Really?
It was after school.
Film club.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Kevin Sherman, who was on the show as well. He was such a big fan of Mr. Vanabo that we went back to the school one day in Kevin's little orange Honda, orange.
Civic. Yeah,
we
that's Civic.
drove up to the window of his classroom, which was really, I guess, technically on the grass.
The loading dock or
on the
something
loading
like that.
dock, yeah.
On the back side of the school.
Actually, I have a little thing here. This is Woodway High School here. Yeah, this is from somebody called What are they called? Four Wheelin' Northwest. This is a little
Up at the
montage
school?
of our school. Yeah, this is our high school.
Nice.
So yeah, we
I
drove
heard
up.
it had termites.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in LA, everything has termites, so we're not that astonished. We drove up on the lawn. Kevin's honking his horn. Mr. Vanderbilt came out, and we thought he was going to be like, "Hey, it's so great to see you. And he was just like, get out of here. Get out. Go. Just like screamed at us. We thought we'd be like,
and Kevin
welcome.
was like, yeah, see ya.
Yeah, we're
Good to see you too.
backed up out of there as fast as we could.
Hey, that courtyard made me remember did you remember the film we did with Frau Hall called Yogi in the Box?
No, Yogi in the Box. I know. I have
It
one
was
of the
like
films.
it was like you remember the guys on TV who would like contort themselves and fit into the box?
Yeah.
And I think we like did a spoof on that. So somebody was going to contort themselves and fit into the box and get out of it. And the box ended up exploding.
Really? Was it a special effect?
Where that went. I'm sure it was a special effect.
I have
Probably
one
of the best.
I have one movie, and it was Kevin Sherman, who would make the movies. I have one movie that we made, but I don't know where it is. And we were like bowling pins. Were you in that one? We were in bowling pins.
I was never in the bowling pin.
Well, there was a history class where you could get extra credit if you made some kind of presentation. So we made a film.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And this was like some kind of metaphor for the Russian Revolution. Everybody was a bowling pin, and then a person rolled on the ground. I think it was Nogi Asp, maybe. Rolled on the ground like a bowling ball and then knocked over all the pins. It's a really good movie. I highly recommend it.
Yogi in the Box.
Yogi in the Box. If you can get a hold of Yogi in the Box, I will play it on the show.
Somebody's got to have that.
I will definitely play that on the show. If they do that, I would love it. Okay, I've got a few more pictures that I want to ask you about. This picture is Field Day from Sherwood Elementary.
See, it was a sunny summer day.
Yeah. This was a big one.
This is what it looks like in the summer in the Northwest.
Oh, yeah. Are you...
We were wearing shorts.
Half of the people are wearing shorts. Half of the people are like dressed like, I don't know, in jeans, bell-bottom jeans. I don't know if there was like a protocol.
We probably had to change into shorts because I'm sure we couldn't wear shorts to school.
Well, isn't this a race?
Yeah, this is field day. It's a big deal. This is like around the track or around the play field, not a track.
You know,
I didn't make it. I couldn't make it.
The only thing, are you in the picture?
Yes.
Where are you?
No, I didn't take the picture, but it's my picture.
Yeah.
I don't know who took that picture, but I'm next. Let's see. It goes Jana Brobeck, Stacy Curtis, Sean Burns, me, Pam Cobb.
I see Pam Cobb. I see
Pam Cobb has the best tube socks on. There's two-color
they're
tube
like
socks.
Purple and gold, maybe. And then I see
hers perfect.
You
of course.
Next to Sean Burns. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the one ready.
You're like ready to go. You and Joe MacArthur. Joe MacArthur was
Joe
always
MacArthur. Oh, he played his flashcards that way too. Remember that?
Yeah, remember the flashcards? Everyone remembers that. Remember the blinking?
Everyone remembers that. And he'd go, Alabama.
25. Yeah, we had flashcards, and they would flash like 2 + 4 or whatever, and then you had to say 6. But the first one to say it, I don't know, got a T-shirt or something like that. So he was really good at that.
I don't remember any prizes.
You don't?
But no.
Well, there must have been a prize because Joe was really serious about it. I don't know, maybe hard to say really. What is that? Oh, that's me and Scott Pennington.
I think they had to like put a line on the carpet so that Joe didn't like hit anybody when he did that.
Yeah. It was dangerous, super dangerous. Oh, this is us. This is like our elementary school picture.
This is 6th grade.
Is that 6th grade? Oh, look at me.
That's
I'm like in the middle at the top there, in the middle row. I look like, I don't know, like I'm...
or maybe it was 5th grade. What does it say?
It says
I can't read it.
Grade
6. Yeah.
I have like an ascot on and some kind of weird like sweeping hairdo. I'm famous for having
remember
weird
that
hairdos.
sweater I'm wearing. I got that at Sears.
You're on
that
the
was
far...
in the Sears catalog.
Let's see where you are. Are you on the far right? That orange? We're orange.
I'm the top right next to Mrs.
Wolgamuth.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Wigglemouth.
Wigglemouth. Do you think you could name all of your Sherwood Elementary School teachers?
Oh, that's not even hard.
Really?
No,
you can do that?
I have all their pictures too.
How fast do you think you can do it? Do you think you can do it in like under 10 seconds?
Ooh, under 10 seconds.
How about 15?
Let's see. Yeah, maybe.
Okay, let's do it. 1st through 6th.
Now I'm trying to remember the first. I remember 2nd is Mrs. Luss, Mrs. Sleesman, Mrs. Sutton, Hopkins Banks, and some TA, and then Mrs. Wolgamuth. Who
Okay.
is the first? Carter. Mrs. Carter.
Mrs.
I didn't
Carter.
like her. She got mad at me. I spilt the pencil shavings, and then I remember she knelt down in them in her white pants. Why anybody would wear white pants to school?
'Cause it
And
was
she
a
had it
thing.
all over her knee, and then she got mad at me.
Oh, you didn't have Mrs. Kachuk?
No, I had Mrs. Carter.
You and I were in separate classes the entire way, all the way
The
until
whole
Wolgamuth.
way through until 6th grade. Yeah.
Wow.
I actually think Mike Rankin was in all of my elementary classes with me.
Really?
And why, I don't know, but I just remember that. That was like some sort of trivia that I came up with at some point.
You like figure that out. I think the
Yeah.
most traumatic part was junior high school, though. Is that traumatic for everybody? Junior high school?
I think it must be.
I've got
I
a
tried out
picture.
for cheerleader as a junior high, and it was
You did?
traumatic. It was, you had to stand up in front of the whole school and
No
do
way.
like a cheer. And I remember my mom made me a little skirt so I could like look like a cheerleader.
No.
But wasn't a cheerleader.
You mean
I
that-
didn't make the basketball team either. I was pretty bad there.
You mean it was like American Idol?
Now, had I sung, that might have been a totally different experience, but I just think it was a popularity contest.
Oh my God! This is
It had nothing to do with skill because I had a lot of skill.
yeah. This is our
That looks
junior
like
high
a
school.
landfill.
Yeah, but it's our junior high school. They're building a new one there, but it looks so picturesque.
It totally looks
Up
like a
high like this.
landfill with covered.
It should be a landfill. It was. I have such horrific memories from that time. This is the therapy portion of the show.
You can see Mount Hood Mount Baker in the distance.
Beautiful.
That's
but
pretty cool.
It's probably a drone shot, don't you think?
I hope
That's
so.
what I imagine. Unless somebody's like flying up in the sky. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably these drone shots are crazy. It makes everything look so cool.
Well, like you really had a view. The school had no view of anything.
No, we were just in the woods. I had to walk a long way to get there too. I don't know about
It
you.
was a long way, yeah, and you had to go down that hill on the backside.
Would you say in high school you were a new wave person?
I think if you would have said that term to me in high school, I would have been very angry.
You
But
think so?
I don't think I was anything. I was just trying to be something.
Really?
Something other than nothing.
It was hard. I felt like I remember I joined the football team, and Todd Haas said to me, "You joined the football team?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, geez, I'm going to join the football team. I guess anybody can." I didn't mean it badly. I think he just really was having that, oh, did I say that out loud moment?
Oh,
But,
that whole period of our lives, growing up. And I was a cheerleader in high school, but my mom, when I decided I was going to try out, my mom's like, you sure you want to do that again, Lori? I don't think she had a lot of faith in me.
She was scared. Well, I got to
She
say,
was probably scared of a couple things, but
but you were sort of like, look at you there. You got your flock of seagulls hair there in the middle.
yeah.
You were
flock of
sort of
seagulls.
like more like a rebel, or maybe an alternative person, alternative music kind of person, new wave kind of person. It just seemed odd that you would want to be a cheerleader. I was surprised.
Well, that was before. I mean, I had the I quit the cheerleading squad. I mean, that was a big deal. It's like, what? You're not going to try out and be a senior cheerleader? I'm like, no, I'm going to play tennis. So Deanne Corso and we both quit, and we took tennis lessons from some guy who sold Herbalife in Montlake Terrace
No way.
at the Parks and Recreation. And then we went out for tennis. We took a summer of lessons and then lettered in tennis. How about that?
Oh my God, that's good. I was on the tennis team. Oh my God, there's your prom picture.
Yeah.
too.
Oh, there. Look at that.
There you
yeah.
are. Were you like a Cyndi Lauper fan?
Not really.
No?
That dress was supposed to be
Let's see the dress.
supposed to be an orange, but you know what? We could not find any orange satin.
Really?
I remember my mom and I drove all over Seattle looking for orange satin, and but that's the "Some Like It Hot" Marilyn Monroe dress. It's got
Yeah,
the
it
big
looks good.
bow on the back.
You look sharp in that
But
picture. For
I still
sure.
have that dress.
You do?
It's funny. It's like this big.
Wow.
I hold it up. I'm like, how was I ever that small? I don't understand.
Yeah. And you're there with Tim
But
Ebling
that-
and
Yeah, Tim Ebling and Aaron
Aaron Manning
and Hayes.
and Hayes Haugen. Speaking of Hayes
that's-
Haugen, I got this other. Oh, there's you. You were actually most talkative. Voted most talkative.
Yeah, yeah.
Weren't
That
you?
was back in the days when you had like real phones.
Yeah.
And
It's
we
like, what
decided
are
to plug
those
them into the
things?
tree. I'm like, what a great idea. Hey, let's bring all these phones to school and make it look like we're on a bunch of phones.
You and Trevor Stewart were most talkative? What does it mean?
Yeah,
What does it mean anyway? Most
mean,
talkative.
I
You're
don't
like
know.
you're talking in class?
I couldn't do much of anything else, but I could talk. I still
so
can
funny.
talk. I never thought I'd meet anyone who talked more than me, but my fiance is a pretty good talker.
Oh, really? That's
Oh
good.
yeah, he's a pretty good talker.
Challenging. Okay, this picture is like a famous picture
Yes.
from Woodway
The boys.
High School back in the day. This is Todd Haas making a mustache. And
He did that.
Yeah, that's the thing that he
I
did?
think he still does that. I think I have a picture of his 50th birthday. He was doing that.
It's a weird thing to do. And then Kevin Sherman, John Townsend, Matt Wright, Tim Ebling, and Hayes Haugen, once again. Hayes Haugen. These guys were, the thing about these guys is these guys were like Myth Club, but like beyond Myth Club. They were like too cool. Too alternative cool. The story behind this
They were
is...
fun. They were a lot of fun.
And you
for
took
sure.
this picture?
I took this picture. I don't know why I'm suspecting, I was the girl.
Yeah.
And, one of these things is not like the other. And I don't know if they didn't have a uniform for me or if I just didn't want to put myself in the awkward positions that I knew they were going to put themselves in that night.
Yeah.
Or if I just needed to stay home with Todd's mom for some reason. I remember staying home with Todd's mom, and they all went out.
Well, the story goes that they went to a donut shop, and they went in one at a time, and they ordered a cruller.
A cruller. I don't even know. That's the one with the ridges on it.
Oh, I thought it was like a plain donut, but they all ordered the same donut, and then they would leave, and they just kept maybe rotating.
I think they went to QFC and tried to buy an egg.
Just one.
Just one egg. Yeah.
It's very.
I mean, this is all things that they told me after the fact.
Yeah, because you didn't go.
Because I didn't go. But I always wanted to be part of that, right? Because that was a lot of fun.
Well, you were part of it.
Not really.
Did you ever feel like because you were a girl, you were sort of the outsider of that?
Oh, totally. All the time.
Really?
Yeah.
That kind of
all
sucks.
the time. But, we used to do all sorts of silly things. I remember just driving around doing nothing and then getting into trouble. And I remember one time driving through, Enos Arden. It was always really dark in there.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin was driving or John Townsend was driving. They turned off their lights.
Yeah.
And then Tim grabbed the keys and threw them out the window.
Oh, my God. No way.
We're going down the road. He's like, out the window.
Well, we used to call it, it's probably much more exciting than it was back then, but we used to call it Deadman's. Edmonds, Washington, we used to call it Deadman's.
Oh, yeah.
And we were so bored. And we used to drive around like in John Townsend's station wagon.
It's still pretty boring.
Oh, it was super. And we used to always get ourselves into trouble just because we were so damn bored.
I get in trouble for doing nothing. and the cops they're like, Lori, what are you doing here? Oh, man, not again.
It's horrible. Horrible.
Oh, and then the funniest thing is, when I went to college, I worked at Deli Master's Delicatessen.
Really?
And the cops would always come in there.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "You're working here now, Lori. Okay."
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
God. That's great. Okay, so I want to do a segment. I do a segment called Comedians Talking Science. But instead today this is going to be comedian talking science with a scientist.
Who isn't a scientist?
You what? Come on now.
I have a degree in physics, but I don't do anything scientific.
You worked at a particle accelerator. You work for the city of Seattle.
I was 23.
You were 23.
Or
You're a scientist, damn it.
Like that.
Damn it, if I say you're a scientist, you're a scientist. Haven't you ever taken improv classes? If I say you're a scientist.
No, but I probably should.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you'd be good at it.
I'd love to do some improv with you someday.
All right. Well, we're doing it now.
Do you remember Ed DeBevick's in Chicago?
I do. That was one of my favorite places.
We decided to go out in character one night.
What?
And I think you were like, we need to be an old married Polish couple.
You're kidding me.
You don't remember that, do you?
No, tell me. I love stories that I don't even. I remember us going out to what do they call it? That's like there's like one street in Chicago. Rush Street. I remember we went there a couple times, but
we always used to win parties at Rush Street.
Yeah,
Division Street.
You won a free party.
I don't know what the deal was. We kept winning these free parties. All the kids at the lab, and the great thing is that you could stay out until 4:00. You know, they shut the liquor down at 2, but then you could work it off for the next 2 hours.
Oh yeah, and they had all kinds of weird underground places that you could go to too. Now, tell me about the Ed DeBevics. We went there and improv?
Well, I think I only went there once, but what was it? Dick's Last Resort and Ed DeBevics were kind of some of those places you had to go. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what possessed us. I just remember it was really busy and we had to wait. And we decided that we would do something. And it seems like we also went to see some sort of theater production.
Really?
But we had decided that we were going to be in character.
Oh, that's great.
But we weren't dressed up as characters. We were just like trying to speak with a Slavic accent and order like a hamburger.
I love Ed DeBevics.
I don't know what I would like to have on this menu. It looks so good here.
It looks so good. Well, that was one of the things.
I probably want like a milkshake.
That was one of the things is we wanted to do it because we wanted to spend a long time there. Because what happens
Because why not?
The waiters get really pissed off. I actually had a comedian on here, my good friend Cynthia Levin. She worked there, and probably at that time even, maybe. And
you must leave. Oh, that would be the waitress.
Yeah, they would tell you. Yeah, they would. You must leave. We got to flip this table. They would actually say that to you too. Hey, we got to flip this table.
Here.
You guys done?
Time.
Get the hell out of here. I love that place. That was really fun. All right, so without further delay, we're gonna do comedian talking to scientist about science, and you're gonna play the scientist. Okay?
Is this like karaoke in cars or?
No, I have a game.
I think I'm gonna fail miserably at this. Can I phone a friend?
You can phone a friend. You can phone a div. Maybe he knows. Who knows? Maybe your dog knows.
I think he left.
What is your dog's name?
My dogs.
Are they gone?
They're not even here. I don't know where they went.
Milk Toast.
I'm done. There, yeah.
They could
Milk
be distracted.
Toast isn't here. I don't know where she went.
All right, here we go. It's time to talk science.
That's the Chicago River.
I know. I got the whole thing going on here. This is happening. This is happening. We say Chicago, all of a sudden
again.
We're in Chicago.
Chicago. I like Chicago.
Here we go. I'm doing this really for Jose Salas, so, and his cousin.
Jose Salas, does he know Carl Salas, or is he related to Carl Salas from San Jose?
That's right, he is. And this is why I'm doing this, because so that all the Salases of the world who know about science, not like us, not like this scientist here and this comedian here. But anyway, okay. So
I'm an energy manager.
Well, that's your first question is going to be about energy. Okay.
Okay.
First question is about fusion.
I can say a lot about energy.
You can say, see, I knew it. You're already good at this. You already have jokes. I never even have jokes.
Oh my God, fusion.
Yeah, tell me about fusion. I mean, is fusion like
the opposite of fission?
Is that gonna save us? Fission is like dividing, and fusion is like putting things together. I don't know. I'm just making.
Yeah, you got it. You got it figured out. Well, maybe I should just consult my handbook of energy engineering here.
Oh, wow. And you're not a scientist. I've got that here too.
You have this book?
Of course.
Yeah, it's
just
a small reference book that I keep right next to my desk here.
Nice.
I was really interested in fusion when I was in college because it was like going to be the big solution. And the problem was you can't contain it. Right? It takes a lot of energy to contain that energy.
Yeah.
And gravity is what contains the sun, because the sun is fusion. That's what's happening there. But on Earth, it's really hard to do that. I was reading an article not too long ago that some company in California is looking to have like little fusion reactors for your homes.
What?
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
The way this was described to me is it's as if you've taken the sun and miniaturized it, I mean, way down, and put it in like a box, and that you get energy.
Yeah, very
out of it.
Star Trek like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they use like I haven't looked at this in years, but they used to use like magnetic fields to like try to contain things. I think it was called a tokamak. But
Yeah. Yeah. I've read that. Weirdly
you've
enough.
read that? Yeah. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's called a tokamak.
Yeah, but I haven't looked into that stuff in a long time. I mean, nuclear power is one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm saving the planet,
Yeah.
one watt at a time. Um,
Do you think that things like fusion are going to be the things that are going to save us? Because basically, I mean, we're having some trouble here.
no, I mean, I think, we could cut the amount of power that the United States consumes pretty quickly if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Just by behavior alone, if we just turn stuff off that we're not using, that is amazing how much, if you drive downtown to any buildings, any city, they're all lit up and there might be one person going, across this floor to clean.
Yeah.
And then they have a break and they go to this floor to clean. But I mean, there's a lot of wasted energy and there's a lot of opportunity for efficiency. And buildings can be net zero. It's not undoable. We've got like 4 or 5 net zero buildings in the city of Seattle. Now that's on an annual basis, not on an instantaneous basis. But as the grid becomes more dynamic and we can transact energy more and store it in our Ford F-150s or our Tesla solar walls, then we start to balance things out. So you can have renewable power producing and being stored and then pulled off at night when you need it.
It's so hard to like get people to do these things. I mean, myself included. But I mean, we can't even get people to wear masks. You know what I mean? Like someone's going to kill you. They
Think
can't
back
even
to
wear
Jimmy
masks.
Carter. Jimmy Carter
How do you
got
get
such
people-
a bad rap for putting on his sweater and sitting by the fire and saying, "Hey, you guys, we're having an energy crisis.
Yeah.
Take a few steps, make a difference."
Little steps.
And it's not rocket science. And I know because I could have been a rocket scientist.
You could have been, yeah. You were like almost. You were so close to being a rocket
I
scientist.
was so close to be right. Yeah.
So what about that? You said that I just heard on the Rachel Maddow show about the F-150 and how it's like, I mean.
Yeah, isn't that cool? I can't wait to get one.
Yeah, but I thought that those like hybrid cars were not very powerful, and supposedly this is like pulling train cars and you can power your whole house off of the thing. Does this thing have a fusion reactor in it, or what's going on with that? I don't understand.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of dangerous, I imagine.
What about the batteries?
Well, batteries operate all kinds of things, right? You're operating your lawnmowers now. Everything's battery operated. So it's just a matter of size and voltage, right? Voltage is power. And, they're fun to drive. I have a little electric car, a Fiat 500e. I call it a dot because it looks like one of those candies. It's just like this big.
I love those.
And it's fun to drive. It's really fast. But you got to kind of watch it because you're small and people can run over you. But it's just a matter of time. And the manufacturers didn't really want to do it until like Tesla started to push them that direction.
It's pretty. Yeah, that's one of the things. I mean, Elon Musk is doing some crazy stuff, really interesting stuff. But another thing that he's doing is pushing other people to do these things as well. Like,
I'm so glad he's gotten away from the flamethrower thing.
I didn't know about that.
I thought that was a bad way to go.
What was the flamethrower thing?
Wasn't he like making flamethrowers for a while?
I don't remember that. Wow, I didn't know that one. But probably because he was trying to make a rocket. Who knows? It's incredible.
Sure, for sure.
It's incredible what he's doing. What about those batteries that you put on the side of your house? Is that something, do you think?
Yeah, the solar walls. Those are great. Why not?
Why not?
I mean, if you've got a solar array and you can't consume all the power in your house, down in California, you're exporting in the middle of the day, and our power goes negative. The cost of power goes negative because there's so much production at noontime. So you've got to have something to level it out.
That's cool.
Why not a big truck or a solar wall?
I just noticed that your shirt it's a peachy, I think. Is that right?
It's a peachy. Yeah,
Oh my
isn't
God.
that cool?
Yeah.
I love it. I couldn't find my Denny's shirt. Otherwise, I would have worn my Denny's shirt.
I want a peachy shirt. I knew you had an orange shirt on, but I didn't know it was a peachy shirt.
Well, it's kind of orange. It's more gold in it,
Yeah.
The true color of a peachy.
What
Yeah.
are you doing? Do you have like a peachy factory over there? Are you the person who makes peaches too?
I have a veritable museum in my house if you look close enough.
Wow.
I have something of everything.
Is that a real peachy, or are they remaking them? So a peachy is, for those who don't know,
This is a real peachy. This says calculus on it.
Oh my God. We used to
This is not my peachy, because my peachies would still have their papers in them.
And yours would say,
and they do, but they're not
Tracy
here.
Thompson all over them.
Yeah, they would. This one says math lab.
Yeah. Math lab.
Lab.
Nice.
And it says, hi, Div, smiley face. That was probably some young woman.
Yeah, probably. Who knows?
Smiley facing to my fiance.
Oh my God. Smiley face. Uh-oh.
And here, York living room. So, this one, he had this in college.
We don't even know what. Don't read it. What if there's something that's really embarrassing on there?
Oh, I'm sure there might be.
Okay. You have now passed the test of comedians talking to science. It's one of the strongest episodes so far, I think, of this.
Okay, well.
So now I'm going to ask you about this guy. Are
JP Patches,
you a
Chris
Patches
Whedon.
pal?
Yeah, I am. In fact, I've got the mug somewhere.
Look what I got.
I've also got. I was on JP Patches.
Were you?
1973.
No way.
Yeah, I was. I've got the cassette tape for that somewhere. My mom, she had one of those little portable cassette tapes. She used to record everything. And
it's an audio cassette?
It's an audio. And you know what? I actually called KTS. Was it KTS 9? The station, and Mohai, because Mohai ended up. That's Museum of History and Industry in Seattle, and I was trying to find the actual recording of the show.
Oh my God!
And I can't find the recording of the show.
Do they have that kind of stuff?
I had a talking part too.
You talked on the show?
I did. I said, "That's Ann. I'm Lori."
Whoa, that's impressive.
Pretty cool.
That's the first person I've talked to on the show that actually. I've talked to people that went to the show, but nobody that actually had a speaking role. Which is
it was
really
pretty
incredible.
cool. Wow. Yeah,
that's
it was the start of everything.
It was the beginning of the whole middle management career.
The end. Yeah. I knew I was destined to be someone.
So, in this picture, he's at Farrell's. Is that something that still exists?
That sure looks like Farrell's, doesn't it?
Yeah.
No, Farrell's doesn't exist.
It doesn't?
The ice cream parlor.
That was like an ice cream parlor. I can still smell it. When you go in
and the big drum.
They had the drum. They had the circus, like with all the little animals in it, and the pig's trough.
And I made a pig of myself at Farrell's. I told you I'm a little bit of a museum. I've got one of those stickers somewhere. I bet it's right in here in my stickers file.
That's the weirdest thing. That is the weirdest thing. Do you have gummed reinforcements as well?
I used to have gummed reinforcements. This is really funny, though. I mean, This is my sticker file. I do have like a bicentennial sticker.
Oh my God! Yeah. Did you go on the? Did you go on the Freedom Train? Oh, that's nice.
In my sticker file.
Wow, you're like a museum in yourself. The museum should be calling you.
This is the best. So, do you remember Dynamite magazine?
Yes, of course.
Here's an iron-on.
Oh,
I'm a
awesome.
Dynamite kid.
Oh, I have a thing. Were you and I in a play called Santa Claus and the Witch in Sherwood Elementary?
I don't know. But I remember you played Santa Claus.
Do you remember that?
So I remember that.
I played Santa Claus in Santa Claus and the Witch. Maybe it was with Pam Cobb. I don't know. But I thought it was maybe you. Anyway, in Dynamite magazine.
I started my career yet then.
In Dynamite magazine, they had a little cartoon, little one cell cartoon, and it said, "Don't you hate it when?" That was like a theme they had. It said, "Don't you hate it when the only reason you play Santa Claus in the school play is because you're fat?" And then it had a picture of this kid in the Santa Claus outfit and another kid going, "You're perfect, Joel." Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, no, it doesn't say
Yeah.
Joel. And it did.
That was
Totally
good.
said Joel. That was like a little trauma for me. I was like,
I
oh.
used to subscribe to Dynamite.
Oh, me too. I love
Dynamite.
Dynamite. Do you
I
think they
still
named
have
it?
the Captain and Tennille. I think I still have the Captain and Tennille one somewhere.
Oh, that's great.
I can't
was
get rid
looking
of
at
that
those.
stuff. I don't know why.
I love that kind of stuff. I love looking back at that stuff. All right, so speaking of that, I have a contest for you.
AP patches. Oh,
I have a
contest. Okay.
Are you ready? It's a 80s pop contest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I'll explain it to you. What's going to happen is
Did you ever see the 80s movies, the spoof of the 80s movie with oh crap, what's his name? The heartthrob with the British accent that's really bad. It had Drew Barrymore, and he was in a band. They had a song that was "Pop Goes My Heart." Oh, it was really bad.
I don't know, but that sounds like a trivia question for
Hugh
me.
Grant. It was Hugh Grant.
I didn't see that movie.
Drew Barrymore, and he was like in a pop band, and their big song was "Pop Goes My Heart."
I don't know that one. I'm gonna have to check that one
you
out.
gotta look it up. You
All right, I
gotta
get
look
my
that
quiz
one up.
ready. All right, I'm gonna have to cut the show off. It's gonna have to be a two-parter. I'm gonna have to put the rest of it in another episode because we've gone over time now. I had edited it a bit with Boney, but we couldn't get it together. So thanks everybody for being here. This has been part one of the interview. So what's going to happen next is I'll play this as a segment. We've got a quiz. There's going to be a band, an 80s band. So, study up, 80s pop band. And then she has to name them. And then also we're going to talk a little bit more about squirrels. So please join me on Tuesday because we'll have a little bit of the second half. Thanks everybody for being here today. Yeah, John Peckinpah. That was cool. Lori Moen, rad then, rad now. So true. More skyons. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a dance party. There's gonna be a dance break. It's not over yet. I mean, there's just gonna be a little dance break at the end, and I got a perfect song for us today for all this 80s talk. Have a great weekend, everybody. Here we go. Dance break time. Okay, so there's a lot of day drinking going on today. So this is happening here as well. This is a band called Electric Avenue, and I don't know if you remember the song. We're gonna rock on to Electric Avenue. That's not what we're playing here. We're playing Howard Jones. No one is to blame. And we're dancing. I'm dancing. See y'all on Tuesday for more lunch therapy. Thanks, Div, for being here. Thanks, Loretta, Jose. There's even some facts in this thing. Going back and looking at the 80s like this has really, stoked some 80s music fire.
You can look at the menu, but you just can't eat. You can feel the cushions, but you can't have a seat. You can dip your foot in the pool, but you can't have a swim. You can feel the punishment, but you can't commit the sin. And you want to, and
slow dance
she
vibes on this
wants
one, yeah.
you. We want
Totally.
everyone,
Slow dance song.
and you want to, and she wants you.
Can't really slow down.
No one ever is to blame. You can build a mansion, but you just can't live in it. You're the fastest runner, but you're not allowed to win. Some break the rules.
Thanks to Electric Avenue
The cost.
for letting us play this song.
The insecurity is the something that won't get lost. And you want her, and she wants you.
Oh, yeah.
We want everyone, and you want her, and she wants you. No one, no one, no one ever is to blame. You can see the summit, but you can't reach it. It's the last piece of the puzzle, but you just can't make it fit. Doctor says it can't, but you still feel the pain.
Yes.
Aspirations
bowling ball
in the clouds,
in,
hopes go down the
bowling ball
drain,
video.
and you want her, and she
Yogi, were you the bowling ball in the bowling ball
wants everyone.
video movie? I don't know.
And you want her,
Howard.
and she wants you.
Yeah, that's right.
No one, no one, no one ever is to blame. No one ever
Never mind.
is to blame.
When it goes down. There it is.
No one ever is to blame.
See y'all next week for more lunch therapy. This guy goes into the kitchen, gets himself a drink. I don't know what it is with the drinks today. There's a lot of day drinking going on. I know it. I'll let him toast us because why not? It's a great way to go out. Let's see what Nogi said. I think I opted out because I didn't want anyone touching my head. It's hilarious. See you next week.